back to the City of Doors, Sigil Confidential.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our new faces, of course. Glad to have you both at the quote-unquote table. This is the first installment of our new chapter, Hell to Pay. So we're going to be introducing some new folks, doing some little off-topic stuff that will, of course, lead us into the story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, third time returnee. We're not going to mention that.
Would we like a recap on the end of the last arc?
I was just about to ask you if you would care to do the honors.
Last time on Sigil Confidential, our frustrated crew took a moment to ponder the evidence they had and what pieces were unaccounted for before anyone else in the manor was murdered. They managed to get Draken out of his cat form to ask him what smells he picked up as a cat. Everyone figured out that a Rakshasa was afoot in fairly short order. The crew spotted Watts out in the hallway, and the ghost and Draken went to make sure it was actually her, while Jimmy and Istu were standing around the room where Gambinelli's corpse lay. Jimmy successfully managed to convince Blackjammer's Cutlass to accompany him, when a figure that sure looked like Gambinelli stepped through. He revealed that he had already killed the Rakshasa and had the crew over as a test to reveal who amongst his people had betrayed him. No one bought it, and with one stab of his sword, Jimmy made the Rakshasa's illusory disguise drop. The fiend attempted more trickery to try and outrun the crew's damage, but they managed to successfully slay him. Madame Vila and Lieutenant Darvold were made aware of the Rakshasa being the real killer, and Tavarius lifted the arcane seal on the manor, allowing everyone to return home. One final case and one last satisfied customer closed the book on the agency formerly known as Stapleton Detective Services, closing up shop for good. But that's not the end of the crew's story. With a reputation as godslayers and sticking their nose into other people's business being their business, or what used to be their business, they're bound to get on someone's bad side. Can our crew continue to make it through life without someone out for their necks? Find out on this upcoming arc of Sigil Confidential, Hell to Pay.
Very well done. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Very well done. And it was a very fun adventure, that last little section. So yeah, when our curtain opens, our crew is lollygagging, as they like to do, at HQ. I will bring us up to HQ on the screen for all you lovely thousands at home who are watching.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's thousands. I moved the boys outside here. S2, are you with the group?
I hope so.
I mean, are you at the HQ with everyone? I didn't want to force you.
Gee, you railroad me into doing what I should be doing anyway. Yeah.
Watts is here. She has taken over a role as an administrative assistant in the office, a bookkeeper of sorts.
Frees up Pohan for his very important laying around and eating shiny objects duties.
This is very important.
And being the accountant.
And he does keep Bob, the fire builder, in line.
Critical. Bob needs supervision.
Bob does.
Question, are we supposed to be on the agency map? Because I'm not.
No, we were talking about starting at HQ. Your token's here, but it's not in the room. I never put you in the room unless you tell me specifically you want to be there.
Oh no, our view has not changed from the title screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
You may have split our views earlier when we were jumping around the house a bunch.
I may have, but I can fix that right away.
There we go.
Like the kids at home were watching, they were like, "I know what's going on. The party doesn't."
That's the real D&D experience.
Yeah. I will say that Bryn has just arrived recently.
Okay.
Caped in as she does, so she is banging around upstairs.
Hanging out with Pohan.
Yeah, Jimmy would be at the big desk upstairs.
All right. Draken and Istu, where are you guys hanging out?
Interesting question.
This is a
Well-
lackadaisical day at home.
Probably in the kitchen.
Never a bad choice, especially since the remodel.
It's looking nice in there.
I will be upstairs with Pohan
Right
and
on.
Jimmy and the ghost.
Critical maneuver.
All right. So, yeah, we got it all in there. Okay, so yeah, you're at HQ, hanging out. Not really probably doing anything too insane. You've shuttered the sign, basically. You scraped the name off the door. You took the sign off the hook outside. Zill was beside himself with glee, thinking, no more explosions, holes in the floors, Modron staring in my windows, and, of course, his beloved yelling at him about all of it.
People traipsing in and out all day, every day.
He
Always angry.
He was quite pleased. Speaking of people traipsing in and out,
Yes.
like I said, the two of you are looking for them, right? Ratt and Ristur?
Yes.
Your goal was to find them and seek employment. Was that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. In that case, at your leisure, you may engage with the door knocking ritual at any time. They're not hard to find at their HQ.
Yep. Even with the sign down, people kind of know where we live.
Yeah. So yeah, at your leisure.
Well, hold on. I suppose I'll knock. I was expecting someone else to go first because they're the leader.
Sorry. Yeah, I guess I'll just go out and a little knock on this door here. I could tell there used to be scrapings of a sign. I remember there being this is where the Stapletons were.
Yeah. Hey,
Give
you
a
would
knock on the
recognize
door.
it. Okay. So, faintly from above, of course, Pohan perks up immediately, but the rest of you hear a faint tapping at the chamber door downstairs. You hear Watts immediately drop about 15 books and papers go flying, and she begins to mumble, not cussing, just mumble like, "Oh, jeez, what? This thing! Oh my God!" As she begins to trip over everything in the room, bump into a cabinet, knock over more books, and nearly a plant. You can hear her slam into the wall as she catches it barely, stumbles over to the door, and throws it open, straightening her breastplate as she does, trying to appear as though nothing happened.
Meanwhile, upstairs, the ghost is going to glance over at Jimmy and be like, God sodding damn it, I just sodding got here.
Jimmy has been working on a new recipe here at his desk. There's his brewer supplies roll.
I do
So
like
he's-
that.
He's got some ingredients spread out. He's trying to form a small test mash that he'll bottle and see how it matures.
I like it.
It says, Watts is kind of an early warning system, you know? You might miss a knock. You're not gonna miss that.
Awesome.
Yeah, she'll get it. She'll get it. If it's somebody worth talking to, she'll send them up.
So, yeah, the two of you, the door is thrown open. A rather flustered, smaller, very pale human woman with almost white hair, platinum blonde, and plate mail armor throws the door open. Looks slightly flustered. Looks down at Ratt and looks up at Ristur. What?
You in charge here?
Maybe?
Can we come in?
Crap, Jimmy never told me what to do with, yeah? She steps aside.
What a strange greeting.
Oh, hi. She, shuffles back over to the desk. You see her picking up, there's a bunch of papers and stuff all over the floor for some reason. Starts kind of real quickly putting them together and putting them up on the desk in a pile. And, she says, wait right here. I'll go get the boss.
Yeah.
But, wait, didn't you just say that you... You know what? That's fine.
Yeah, make yourselves comfortable. She shuffles off.
I'd like to look for a Goliath-sized chair. I doubt there is one.
There isn't one.
I stand very uncomfortably.
So, Watts busts up into the upstairs office, throws the door open, kind of wide-eyed and confused, out of breath, and goes, "Oh, thank God. I told him I was going to get the boss. Pohan, what do I do?"
Well, hello, small human. You look rather flustered today.
There's a giant and a tiny man downstairs.
Halfling or gnome?
I didn't see hairy feet.
Be a gnome then.
Yeah, I think so.
Giant and a tiny man. Yeah, it seems like worth getting up for. Sets down his stuff, puts a little bit of sulfur back into a box where it won't smell so bad.
Jimmy, what were you doing with sulfur?
Oh, new recipe.
In a sodding alcoholic drink?
Just a hint, you've got to smoke it with the sulfur, and that way you get some of the aroma, but you don't poison people to death.
It's like the deviled eggs of whiskey.
But Jimmy sets that aside, and he seals up the sulfur, and he comes downstairs.
Alright. Pohan will follow. He's curious.
Yeah. Who and what do I see?
Well, here, we'll bring you in there as well. Mr. Big Man. So your tokens are there on this for you guys. You should be able to move them around. Draken, you staying upstairs?
I will slowly move my way down, but not actually go into the room. Probably gonna be hiding in the hallway again, listening.
Alright.
I like to think we have a specific cutout, like panel that's really easy to hear through and has like a peephole to see back into the front there.
Yeah, they could have something in the room with the stairs in it there. Be enough room.
Draken and Bryn, this is their
This is their move.
ritual.
Yeah. Peering in. Here,
We both have like our ears to the wall, but at different heights.
Watts will be in there with you. because of course you would. All right. So of course, standing in your foyer there is a Goliath and a gnome. I will let you guys introduce yourselves and describe yourselves, of course.
Alright, so Ratt is, well, a little gnome. About 1 meter tall. Weighs about 40 pounds. Got a little mop of red hair and a little red goatee. He's got a cigar constantly burning at the side of his mouth. He's kind of chewing on always. And you see that he is carrying a very large, maybe club? You can't quite tell what it's used for.
I've been around violence for a very long time. I would love to make a perception check or perhaps an investigation to recognize what he's got.
Which item?
Well, the one he's described, the one that looks like a large club on his back.
Okay.
Oh, that's the one in my main hand.
Yeah.
The small one's
In the token.
holstered on my thigh.
Mm-hmm.
I will go ahead and say this. As a man of Cairnish origin, you recognize firearms.
Yeah. I know this from back in the day. They're a little less common up here.
And these are a little more advanced than what you're used to as well. You don't really know like a whole lot about them. You just say, well, that's probably something that goes bang and does a lot of damage. And Cairnish.
Yeah, that's correct. Cairnish is correct. Better than Cairnian.
Or Cairnite.
Yeah, no, Cairnish is good.
Cairnish. In the broad spectrum.
Yes.
Alright, yeah. So, you recognize them kind of for what they are, but this is way beyond anything you've seen.
A lot of firepower for this part of town.
You never be too safe. I always carry my irons.
Honestly, I might be lying about the part of town. That's probably wise. And then I look to the big guy.
He is big.
I am big. That is my main feature, yes. He is big. He honestly doesn't look too particularly special. He just has, strangely enough for Goliath, apparently, a full beard and a full head of hair. Not normal. But, that's okay. And he's just dressed in normal, almost bouncer-esque attire. Something like you expect to see him in front of some club somewhere. For sure. He has a big axe on his back, though.
Probably not too uncommon for bouncers around here.
Is he gonna back that axe up?
It was nice playing with y'all. Back and forth around next time.
I'll catch you next month. New character.
Alright, new character. See ya.
I couldn't resist.
And he will just in general just be looking at you all very, very suspiciously, and will actually just be staying next to the door on the side. Just in case.
Just in case.
Jimmy looks back and forth for a moment and he says, I guess you're not here to talk about liquor, are you?
No. We had heard that you had need of our services. We represent R&R Destruction, the top demolitions crew in Sigil. A mutual friend told me to stop by.
Okay. I'm to understand that they're somewhat well known, as are we. Would I have known R&R Destruction in Advanced Church?
Well, you I'm gonna say you've heard of them. We're just gonna say you've heard of them. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's
Yep.
good. I know, like, generally they're in the heavy business.
Yeah. It's you know him enough that you could say, oh, well, yeah, I recognize that. It's legit.
All right, that's my concern. Jimmy leans over the desk a little bit. I've heard of you. I've heard of you. We haven't had the pleasure yet, I don't think.
You must be Mr. Stapleton.
Only if you go by hats.
I was gonna say that's gonna have a weird impact.
Yeah, Jimmy, he looks contemplative for a moment. He pulls his hat off. He says, only if you go by hats. No, I inherited the name when I inherited the agency. I'm Jimmy Callons.
He'll kind of holster the meter-long club rifle into his vest. Reach out and shake your hand.
Jimmy offers a handshake. As is tradition, for the first time people meet Jimmy, would you like to make a perception check?
They're always optional.
A passive 22.
It's not a passive sort of thing.
Oh, okay. This is fun.
It's a weird one.
I would be watching you, so. Sure.
Yeah. So, 17 is pretty good.
Oh, well, mine was hidden by accident.
Man,
Good job.
25 is also very good.
25 is also very good. So, I'll give you the graded ones. So, Ratt, you're shaking his hand. He smiles at you. That smile has more teeth than your average human. Definitely feels that way. In the back there. Not sure I caught the character's name. What's your Goliath's name, my man?
Oh, Ristur.
Ristur. Okay. So, Ristur, you notice the smile, but with a 25. You also notice that guy's not breathing.
Hey, is the undead normal? Or, out of character, is undead, like, you know, are they abnormal in this city? Because this city got a lot of things going for it.
Anything is possible within the realm of Sigil for the most part.
Okay.
But out of character, no. Undead actually not abnormal in Sigil at all. Like there are undead like ghouls and all sorts of creatures running like bars in the cage. Like the White Casket is one in particular, and there are several undead who hold positions of honor in the
Dustman.
The Dustman. Yeah.
I was
Yes.
gonna say you can thank the Dustman for that.
Jimmy is not unusual for being undead. He's unusual because he's not a particularly normal type of undead, nor is he affiliated with the people those sorts usually are.
Yeah.
And he's technically alive, not truly undead.
Yeah, he's an oddball. He's an oddball, but that was good perception.
Ignore that.
Draken
Don't worry about
attacks.
that spell.
Suddenly,
Draken
a crowd
attacks.
forms in my head.
So, as you're talking, a very large, strange-looking dog. It's actually bigger than you are, Ratt. Meanders around the desk, kind of tongue lolling out. He's looking you up and down, sniffing in your direction. Big. Like, very big.
I'm only a meter tall. I'm used to small dogs being larger than me.
No, this is like an enormous pug.
He outweighs me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Enormous pug.
I'm gonna
A
look up
gnome
at this.
a gnome is size small. Pohan is a medium creature. So
Yeah.
there you go.
So this dog is this is okay. I could ride this dog.
Oh, shit. Jimmy could probably ride Pohan, honestly. I don't know how well
Why?
he'd take that, but
Well, hi, puppy.
he cocks his head at you in that kind of confused dog expression, and then looks at Jimmy.
Jimmy's laughing. Hey, you should be glad. That means he didn't see the gray around the muzzle. You look young.
Are you kidding me, Jimmy? I am young, says the dog.
Is a talking dog abnormal?
It talks? No, that's probably normal. This is Sigil.
No, this is Sigil.
You probably find some talking dogs, but his kind is relatively rare.
Yeah.
But
Young.
Pohan, I'm young.
Well, I mean, you know how that works with me.
Yes, I do, but you gotta understand, not everybody does.
So, you guys are looking for work.
Is that Stapleton?
Honestly, if I had left it with him, it might have run a little bit better. But nah, that's Pohan. He is the accountant, advisor, precious metal disposal.
Za connoisseur as well.
Za connoisseur. If you need to know about any of the Za places in the city, he's your man.
Pete's is definitely the best.
So, but no. Technically speaking, Stapleton is not a going concern anymore. We ran into some interesting problems with the last couple of jobs, and I'm gonna be quite frank with you, they convinced me to get out of that business. But some work. Well, I know roughly what you do. But why don't you tell me what you're looking for?
Well, we had heard that you was in need of some serious muscle and firepower. And
Yeah.
we represent booming business.
He strokes his chin. Well, can't lie to you. The need for firepower does come up a little more often than not with us. But, I don't know, since I'm not really taking cases, it'd be more of an as-you-go on retainer sort of deal. Back in the day when I still ran the joint, it was more, people got paid by the hour, people got paid hazard pay for stuff. We had a whole fee schedule, there were contracts and everything, but we're kinda not. We're just kinda not. I decided that was a bit too much for me. So, let me ask you a strange question. You ever work aboard ship?
Board a ship?
Yeah.
Can't be too much different.
I've been told it's real different. Jimmy's got his hand, resting on the bell of a very strange sword at his side.
I was just about to say, as you say that, it depends on how many parts you're trying to pull into. Comes from behind the desk.
That you can consider that the authority on the matter.
So,
A talking sword.
Yep. Now, to be polite, I'll introduce you. That would be Black Gemmer. It's just possible, that you've heard of him.
The legendary pirate?
Yeah, that's the one.
So you're the new owner.
Oh, owners. I'm tired of owning shit. I own a brewery. That's about it.
Sorry. Possessor.
Yeah, even that's not quite right. Business partner.
You give him legs so that he can continue.
Well, I provide a couple of other things to this operation. Wouldn't you say so, Blackjammer?
Well, I mean, as long as it's not a sunken chest with no booty, I'm happy.
Obviously, he's not just our expert, but real good entertainment as well.
So, Pohan kind of shivers and stomps his foot like a rabbit on the floor a few times as he's being scratched.
Mm-hmm.
And then looks at you, Jimmy, and says, Should I get the contracts? Are we gonna sign these boys up?
Well, we don't have anything to sign them up to. Company's dissolved. This would be more of a... Jimmy gestures back and forth between his chest and the two. It'd be more of a personal relation sort of thing.
No, Jimmy. This is Sigil. Watts and I got you covered. We've had that drawn up the day you started talking about going this direction.
You got one for highly conditional work?
I do. I will be right back. And with that, he looks at the two of you. You could almost swear like this huge pug smile comes over his face. His tongue lolls out. His eyes kind of close a little. He tilts his head back. Trots off, just happy as a lark. I need all three of you to make a Constitution save.
Yes.
As he crop dusts the room on his way out.
Yes.
I do have advantage against poison and other similar hazards, so I'm gonna use that.
That's perfectly alright.
I do not. But I think I'm okay.
But you do have Constitution, though.
Yeah. So it's a foul, horrible smell. He may have gotten into your sulfur stash when you weren't looking.
He knows that's junk food. It's
kinda,
no good for him.
You hear him laughing as he goes down the hall. He passes you guys and winks. Goes upstairs.
Pets and contracts. Best day he's had in a week.
So, he'll return pretty quickly. Miss Two, you look like you're moving in. Do you want to do anything before I hand these contracts off? You're muted if you're talking. There you go.
I'm just kind of peeking around the corner, seeing what's happening here.
Sounds good. Pohan will return with two 32-page documents. Each one is covered with stains, spills, a little bit of food dog slobber, and a few questionable smells. He flops them onto the desk, and then looks at the two of you expectantly, tongue lolling out again.
Jimmy rotates them to face properly and says, "You're free to review them."
Well, I would love to review that, but usually that's my father's job. Point that gnome.
I'm gonna make a quick, Jimmy just about keeps a straight face, but he doesn't really. He manages to not break out into, like, absolutely laughing, but he twitches a little bit. There's a small smile.
Hold on, give me a second, I got you. Okay, you're right. You're good.
Completely clueless.
We'll never know.
You focused on dogs and dog farts.
Dogs are distracting, man. True facts.
Now, friend. Contracts are contracts. We don't need no contracts. We just need you shaking your hands and you're good on your word. I have it on good authority that you're good for your word.
If I might ask, curiosity abounds. Who sent you my way? I got a lot of people here in the city. Any one of them could.
I got a very, very powerful friend. She sent me your way.
Jimmy's looking down. He internally is running the gamut on she.
It's the lady who paid her.
Yeah, that was step one. Obviously, that's not gonna be it. The lady sends somebody to you. They're gonna speak in like pictures. Jimmy, don't talk to those guys too much.
No.
The tiefling, Noxana. That's the only one I can think of that might actually still be friendly.
We can say it's Noxana. I don't think we actually discussed an individual.
All right.
Yeah. She said you'd be good for whatever you needed, and we'd be just the support you need. Sometimes buildings just have to go.
You ain't lying. Just wait till you meet Draken. Well, Jimmy looks down at the contracts and contemplates having to actually read them. Yeah, I'll call you up when we need something. And we'll discuss the fees based on the work.
That sounds fair.
Jimmy, arr.
Jimmy holds the basket of the cutlass up towards his ear. Yeah.
I was just thinking, about this time, I was being wielded by this one guy, and he walked into a bar, and he had a squirrel hanging out of his pants, and he said, "Arr, this squirrel's driving me nuts."
Better advice will likely not have. Jimmy holds out his hand once more.
Ratt will return the favor and return for a shake.
Yes. This time, he holds it out to Ristur as well. The gentleman's agreement kind of requires all parties involved shake on it.
All right. He will gladly shake your hand.
As Ristur comes up, Jimmy's going to take a moment to look him in the eye, which probably involves looking up.
He is 7'10". Yes.
Jimmy is not. He looks up, and now that you're a bit closer, he takes a moment to look for a family resemblance.
You will see none besides the burn marks. Does that count?
Nah, those are more acquired in the workplace duties.
He will give you a big old smile, though.
He shakes your enormous hand.
Ah, yes. I resist the urge to throw you around like the Hulk did to Loki.
Up close, given that you rolled on the last one very well, it's easier to tell that he is some strange form of undead. He's not quite cold, but he's not quite warm either.
So I will say, as you are kind of staring one another down, in a friendly way, you notice, kind of out of the corner of your eye, Pohan's ears perk up in the direction of the door.
Oh no. Oh no. Now, just in case, Jimmy's positioning behind the desk so he can duck for cover. Just in case, you might want to stand a little clear.
You expecting company?
No.
Turns around and faces door.
I'm gonna vault over the desk.
Jimmy trades out with you. He said, "I'm better up close anyways." We have a peephole on the door. I'd like to look at it.
I would imagine that I'm actually not even tall enough to see over the desk, so... Perfect.
So, as you guys are repositioning, and of course, those of you peering into the room you can see kind of what's going on. Jimmy, you see Pohan's eyes go wide. The bristles stand up on his back, and his tail actually tucks. And he backs out of the room.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Jimmy frees up Blackjammer in the scabbard there. He's not drawn yet, but he's loose. He's ready to draw.
So
Bryn's going to look over at Pohan and be like, Pohan, what's up?
I don't know. But it's something big.
Bad feeling.
Like somebody just stepped on 1,000 graves.
Just gonna.
I am stepping into the room.
Gonna go
Yes.
right about here.
Alright.
It is a good spot.
Just right behind the great big sparkly dude.
Sparkly.
Okay, so you want to be behind me. I can do that.
Bryn will come out into the hallway, but she'll still be behind the wall, essentially.
Alright.
Not making herself visible.
That works.
Anything visible out the peephole?
No, but I will say that you do hear multiple footsteps in perfect unison walking across the cobblestone. Sounds like they're armored. So just that kind of metal on stone grinding sound. But it's in perfect unison, like step, 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 step.
I'm tired of people busting in my door. I want to have the drop on them for once. I opened the door.
You open the door.
Yes.
As you do, rounding into visibility are two very tall, stunningly beautiful women in full armor. There's some variances to their individual appearances, but they are just strikingly beautiful. About 6'4", each of them, in full plate mail, with bright red feathery wings on their backs. You immediately get this sense of power from them and presence. As they stop, turn both of them kind of side by side, once again in perfect unison, and stare down at you.
Yes. So, Jimmy's growing accustomed to dealing with creatures who have grown used to a supernatural level of just projection and presence. And he is pretty confident that there's nothing to do for it but to compete at that game. So I'd love to make a quick persuasion roll and see how my presence is looking.
All right.
Not too bad.
Jesus.
Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Are you trying to persuade them to do something, or?
No, this is just me trying to project an aura of danger myself.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. That might have
just
actually been
presence roll.
more of an intimidation then.
Not necessarily threat, but of power. Just like they're showing up and they're standing in front of me like,
Oh, see.
they've descended from the heavens and they're gonna smite me. Well, I'm not looking too smiteable right now.
It's a presence. I get
Yes.
it. All right. They both look at you and kind of look at each other. And then back to you. And then once again, in unison, they say, "Are you Jimmy Calhoun?"
Callons. Callons, but that's fine. It's not a common name around here.
Will you receive our mistress?
As a guest in my home, as someone looking for business, depends, really.
If this were an antagonistic visit, we would not be asking.
That's fair. And you didn't seem to be too threatening, so I would never have expected this. Jimmy is poking just a little bit. But more the nature of business. I run several. Some are retired now, some are present, and I always like to know, what sort of things people are here for before I let them in to begin, our conversation. Really, it determines whether I need to clean up the place first. I've actually got some other guests.
Okay. So they kind of look at each other and back to you. Is that a yes?
Yeah. It's a yes. What do I care about appearances, honestly?
So with that, the two of them step in one at a time. Each one takes a position on either side of the door. As they do, stepping around into view through the door is an immaculately... everyone in this room right now is kind of not breathing. An immaculately beautiful woman steps into view. She's approximately 9 feet tall, ducking down to come into the doorway. Long, perfect formed black hair, well built, and small horns protruding from her forehead, and 2 folded large leathery wings on her back that lead down to a forked tail that wraps around her waist as she enters. Her skin is a copper hue, almost metallic in its appearance, and she is just covered with jewels and fine cloth and silks that just make you wonder if you will ever see the amount of wealth that this woman is wearing right now. She walks in, and everyone in the room at the same time feels like she is looking directly into your heart for a moment, with not an emotional charge, but more of a come hither stare. Everyone in the room is a little heated in the loins.
I got some practice at dealing with this at this point. Somehow, these women just keep walking into Jimmy's life. And he is not all too receptive anymore. It's gone so poorly so many times. So he's gonna rely on that dead inside feeling.
Okay.
And you can't take his breath away. He wasn't breathing anyways.
That's fair. So the main thing is she made an impression.
Powerful impression, yes.
9 foot tall. This is a big hot lady that just walked in the door. She looks around, kind of licks her lips, and smiles, and actually gives a nod, like a respectful nod. You can see slightly sharpened teeth as she smiles.
Yes. Excuse me just one moment here. He walks around to the back of the desk. No need for the defensive position there, Ratt. We're good.
No, I recognize the lady. I kick up off the floor, kind of hover up, and go greet her at eye level.
You're floating?
I am floating with boots of winged boots.
Okay.
Now, do you recognize her?
Winged boots. Yeah, this is Oksana. She sent us to.
Oh no,
Nah.
this is not Zaxana.
Nah.
This is not. Oh.
Oh,
She
no.
is more of a normal height and a normal level of very attractive.
Then maybe not. I probably would I recognize her?
This is some variety of demoness.
This is someone else then.
So, would you like to retcon that a little bit, or
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I thought that was
Just a
somebody
touch.
else.
you can? So,
No, I'm still gonna kick off the floor a little bit. I'm gonna go hover in this corner
All right.
at the ceiling, like by the bookcase.
so if anyone wants to try and recognize her, we'll
Oh,
say
take a shot.
an Arcana roll.
That's not gonna go well. It's gonna be
Okay.
very funny.
No, that's my job. So I will do that.
Oh, look at that. Ristur, even not being into women, there is still like an attraction. It's a weird, otherworldly sensation. You won't necessarily go for her, but it's like, damn, if I were straight.
Aesthetic attraction.
Yeah.
Many of these are forms of magical compulsion.
Yes, she is a devil.
I think that might be fully committed to death by Snoo at this point.
And actually, with Istu, Ratt, Bren, and Draken, with those rolls, you immediately, like, it clicks right away.
Spot the non-caster.
This,
Hey, Brent only got a +3. You just rolled bad.
Oh, I always roll bad in Arcana.
this is the Archdevil Glacia. Lord of the 6th level, Lord of Malbolg, Queen of the Aryans, Princess of Hell, Princess of Night, the Dark Prodigy, daughter of a certain extremely powerful devil that you guys might know and think of from time to time.
Bryn's face drops. She definitely has an oh
Yes.
shit reaction.
This is not just the daughter of Asmodeus, but one of his favorite daughters. One of the most powerful and influential of all the female devils.
It's a good thing Jimmy doesn't know that.
Yeah, Jimmy's like, what's the big deal?
So let's be fair to Jimmy. He knows nothing about the planes. Established. He knows nothing about the actual real-world position of the Deviless. However, socially he's quite sharp. He recognizes power.
Yes. That I do not doubt. So, like I said, that you guys kind of, let me see here. You guys kind of, like, some of you recognize it, some of you don't.
Jimmy is looking up politely.
Here. Say that's.
Yep, gonna need those.
Those are the Aryans.
Mhm.
I don't know if I have one for her that'll work. Yeah, this'll do for now. Just for shits
Them
and giggles.
tokens, though.
I know. There we go. That'll do for now.
It'll do.
It'll get the idea across. So, she'll, once again, like I said, she gave you a very polite nod, Jimmy. And everyone in the room, really.
Yes. So, in response to the nod, Jimmy will go, welcome to my humble home. apologies for the small crowd. I was conducting a little bit of business and was not expecting any more today.
Oh, I am quite well aware.
People who turn up at my doorstep have the strangest habit of being aware of these things. Well, I'll cut right to it. What brings you?
Funny you should ask. I have been made painfully aware that your recent exploits have resulted in the death of a certain feline persuasion. Yes?
Jimmy's face goes from the pleasant and genial version of the mask to the more muted version of the mask. So, as it falls down to this more neutral expression, he says, I think I know, the one you are referring to. Yes. Yeah, that was me.
So she'll kind of drift along up to the edge of the desk and lean over. And although you very neatly dispatched this creature, I'm afraid you've left behind some very nasty loose ends.
He holds his hands up briefly. He says, Fortunately, for that work I was but a contractor. Any loose ends are now officially the property of the man of the house.
Oh, no, I understand. And I'm not here for, well, any of that, really. I have my own purpose, my own reason for being here. But, that aside, I felt I should let you know that you've brought some attention to you and yours. A very diabolical nature. And see, it doesn't suit my designs that these creatures that are currently gunning for you succeed. So I'm here to warn you, Jimmy, that there is a 1 million gold piece bounty on your head.
Allow me to make a small save.
Can I keep it if I turn myself in?
That one crossed his face, I think. 13, 1 million gold piece bounty. That one was visible for a moment. If you're feeling in an even more generous mood, might I ask, who has issued that bounty?
Oh, Jimmy. What you don't understand is that creature was planted there intentionally to do a job for an organization that operates in a shadowy format here within the confines of Sigil. More of a financial corruption of the soul than anything in particular, but you really got in the way of it that time.
I have a habit. It's unfortunate.
And it is a shame. It is a shame. It is an absolute shame that the eye of Asmodeus is on you right now. You seem like such a nice man. But don't fret. Honestly. I mean, without my father, who would I have to conspire against?
So, Arcana check, no Arcana check. Asmodeus is a known name.
Yeah. Asmodeus is one of the biggest powers in the multiverse. So yes.
One could hardly avoid knowing that. Just for the calming effect, Jimmy decides to take a breath. And here I was thinking I couldn't really get an upgrade. Turns out it just keeps going. He clenches a fist that still bears a particular debt.
You, still don't know what that is, do you, Jimmy?
Pardon my language, fucker who happened to trade me for it is not the most enlightening fellow.
Oh, goodness. You mortals are absolutely adorable when you get entangled with these things.
Mortal is such a tricky word. I'm not sure I've counted for a while.
Oh,
Probably can still die, though.
I'm sure you can, Jimmy. I'm sure you can. More importantly is the things that could be done to you before that point.
What's the worst that could happen?
She kind of flashes you a look that even your dead soul cringes at as you imagine what this creature probably could do.
The worst that could happen. A specialist in the worst that could happen. That's who we're talking to.
But, as I have said, I am here to help.
Internally, Jimmy has opinions on that. Not a one of those will show.
Yep, she says, I am here to help. I have seen what lies ahead. I have seen what stands in your way. And I know what is to come is going to be a very difficult road for you to follow, Jimmy. You are going to suffer. And in fact, you are going to lose something very precious. But she puts a finger on your lips.
Yes. Jimmy is shushed. He has been shushed.
Don't lose that lack of a heartbeat just yet. There's a light at the end of that tunnel. She leans in real close, and the smell of her pheromones is like overwhelming at this distance.
I stop breathing.
She says, you need to trust me.
Every cell in his con man's body is responding, saying, do not ever fall for that line.
And it's funny, like, everyone's gone quiet. I'm just picturing everyone standing around kind of wide-eyed right now.
Yes. Jimmy, mask still there, smiles a pleasant small smile. It says, for your words of warning, I thank you. And if you happen to deal out any more advice on a path forward, sure, I'd thank you for that as well. As to losses, I've been having to learn to let go of those lately, even the ones that are most precious to me. Of course, I would still rather avoid them.
crucible you're about to dip your path into is unavoidable, Jimmy. But I do have a gift for you. She kind of turns around and reaches her hand out to one of the Arians, who passes her an item in a small box, which she takes into both hands, smiles and looks down at you, and holds out to you.
Torn between never accept gifts from the devil and ooh shiny, Jimmy decides it's a little bit more polite here to take the gift.
Okay. It's a small box, a few inches by a few inches. Oh, it opens upward.
Okay. Jimmy says, "May I?" gesturing at the lid.
Please do.
Jimmy will open the box.
Inside is an amulet on a gold chain. It's an amulet. It's about 2 or 3 inches in diameter. It appears to be made out of mithril.
Oh.
Set with gems. The thing is worth a small fortune. You can tell just by looking at it. The rogue in you is like, ooh.
Yes, shiny.
She's watching you, and she smiles once again. She says, "Jimmy, keep that close to your heart."
Should I ask, or would it spoil the mystery?
I will see all of you soon. I will be watching with great anticipation to see what you do next.
I can only hope that my death will be as entertaining as my life.
Jimmy, you and I both know that your death is most likely going to lead you to me anyway. So I'll see you either way. And with that, she kind of turns, gives a coy, a little seductive look over her shoulder at each of you as she passes, ducks down and goes out the door. And the 2 Aryans turn and one by one follow her out, and you hear them pacing once again in perfect unison down the cobblestones.
Jimmy walks slowly around. He closes the door behind them. Walks back and sits at the desk and looks at the assembled crowd. Draken over to one side and Ratt and Ristur taking up their positions. Says, "You know, would you believe there used to be a time I was worried about the guard?"
Well, that was a wonderful first experience for me to have with this wonderful group.
Perhaps it's time to renegotiate the terms of my service.
You see, as Jimmy draws the contract
seem.
off the desk, you see, the handshake's not really renegotiable. We can shake again, but
Shall we shake again on terms that include bodyguard services?
Well, yes, actually.
It would seem with $1 million gold piece bounty on your head, you might be in need of some additional beef to stand between you and everyone else.
We're gonna take it on a day-by-day basis here. But you may consider yourselves on the clock.
Word got out too far here in Sigil. Even your neighbor's grandma would be going for your throat.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to work some contacts in regards to that. We need to know what's going on. If Asmodeus himself has placed $1 million gold piece bounty on my head, 1, I'm flattered. 2, he's rich. That's probably too low. 3, you may not be employed for very long.
Well,
I will say, she did not say Asmodeus put the bounty on your head.
Exactly. Jimmy's speculating here.
Yeah, okay.
He doesn't actually think that, because, I mean, come on, why would he bother with doing that? He would just send a demigod to murder me. He has people for that. He has armies for that.
Yeah, he doesn't leave home very often.
Yeah. So, Jimmy says, barring that, probably it's somebody a little smaller. Maybe even somebody we can manage. He looks at Draken. What's a guy have to do to get some peace around here? Do I have to ascend to godhood for people to leave me alone?
Well, I would say you need to die, but
I tried it. It didn't work.
yeah, you do seem like you're already halfway there.
I'm coming back a little bit.
On the other hand, we now have 2 giant possibly things fighting for us. We've got 2 different suitors, Jimmy.
Yeah.
This thing and the angler. They both want us.
Yeah.
Makes you feel loved, doesn't it?
I'll pass on that kind of love. You saw that line. Anybody who says trust me, don't. It's a good line. We've used it before. It doesn't tend to bode well.
Yeah, we were lying every time.
Every single time.
On the other hand, she was polite. And you
Yes.
gotta love politeness.
Yes, politeness, and I am as alive now as I was at the start of the conversation. Not gonna lie to you, I'm not exactly sure who that was, but I think that's good.
So Jimmy just admitted he had no idea who he was just talking to.
Yes.
To the
Let's put it this way. I respect.
I think that might be all I need to know. I need to know a million other things, but that's the important one. He turns to Ratt and to Ristur. Now, I hate to get people enmeshed in this sort of thing. You need to walk away, you can.
Now, you kidding me? That kind of coin, there'll be everyone coming after you.
Yeah, that's about what I'm implying there.
You know, things have been getting kind of boring. So this might be a bit fun.
I got some new inventions to test.
Oh, you were talking about that earlier, Father.
Yeah, field testing.
Jimmy looks back at Draken.
Can't
I don't
sell
know
it on,
if we got a chance.
can't sell it on the open market if you haven't field tested it yet.
So,
I'm going shopping. I've been threatened. I feel like the appropriate response is to go out in public. That's just me now.
that's so Draken. I need to go shopping.
Say, you got a workshop? Like a forge or something?
I think we can probably rig something up for you. Let me consult with my various experts. He pops back. Yeah, I'll just be 1 second. I'll just be 1 second. He walks out here. He says, "Hey, Watts." He's poking around. He says, "They're gone, Pohan."
She smelled nice.
Depends on what odor you're picking up. I thought I'd almost left that box upstairs open.
I didn't say that as a good thing.
Yeah. He's walking around looking for the ghost. Are you visible right now?
She's visible. She is in the hallway.
He expected you to be, eavesdropping from over here.
Yeah.
He walks up, he says, "What the fuck?"
What in the blessed Beator indeed? Jimmy, do you have any idea who we were just speaking to?
I have an idea, but it's my kind of idea, where I look at somebody and I say, "Oh shit." Honestly, no. I was picking up devil vibes. I was getting some devil vibes.
You're on the correct path. That was Glazia, Asmodeus' daughter.
Yeah.
And lord of her own lair in Beator.
Oh, that's less good. That does explain the bodyguards, though. Well, Devil's bearing gifts. He holds up the amulet. Any guesses?
Nothing currently. I could... Probably with a few materials and a lot of time. Enough time to do a seance. Could probably figure this one out. If you and others would be willing to be involved in the circle.
Oh, sure. We can take a minute. We'll probably have to bar the door out there.
Yes. We'll need 4 people in addition to myself. I will need some rather expensive incense and ivory strips.
I'm sure we've got a little something left in the bank.
You actually have about 7 or 8 grand in the bank. You've been getting that income from the Wickletongue.
Yes, the Wickletongue's been going pretty nice. That's why Jimmy's got a little time to come up with new flavors.
Yeah.
He looks up for a moment. Damn, I could have asked her about the whiskey. Well, may I never again have the opportunity.
Something tells you that you may.
Yeah, this wish will go unheeded. He's strolling back. I think if that we can conduct negotiations with Bob the Fire Builder, we might be able to get you something.
Bob, the fire builder.
Yep. Another gentleman of my employ. He's usually on stove duty, but he's quite handy.
I'd like to meet this fire builder.
I'm on the back. He makes substantial enough noise walking that the ghost knows there's a couple people coming.
Yeah, she's going to step into the room and start heading upstairs, and she's going to motion Pohan over to her.
Alright.
He will follow you upstairs, you said?
Yeah, she's going upstairs.
Okay. Yeah, he'll go up there with you.
Pohan, would we happen to have any incense or ivory strips on hand? I need about 250 gold worth of incense and some rather expensive ivory strips.
Anything in particular? Incense-wise?
Just...
Frankincense, myrrh, nagchampa, patchouli.
What would you summon the dead with? It's a good question.
This in for summoning the dead. Any scent in particular, though and she tells Pohan her preferences. I guess it would be lavender in her case, though I don't know. I haven't worked out what scent of incense Bryn would actually like. I guess that might be a thing I need to think about. But yeah, about 250 gold worth of incense, and the ivory strips big enough to be worth about 50 gold each. Figure out what that amulet of Jimmy's is.
He looks around and snuffles over here and starts kind of nosing around in the shelves, and comes back with a slightly drool-crusted box with a hinge big enough for him to grab with his teeth. Pulls it open and starts kind of nuzzling around in it. And let's see. There is ivory in there, enough that you need. And incense.
Excellent. Find out what this amulet that Glazia gave Jimmy is later.
That was a strange experience.
Indeed. Can't say I'm all that pleased.
At least he wasn't attacking us.
Indeed. Though I'm not one to get in the hairs of the powers like this, so...
Kind of missed the days when we had fencer trolls' bodies throwing up on our doorstep. Seemed like it was simpler.
So Morven was written in the dead book because of all that business with Otachan and Fall from Grace back in a few months ago?
Yeah.
God damn it.
It was pretty bad. It was really bad, actually.
It's terrible.
I think Colin might have eaten some of him.
Oh, gods.
It was bad, but is it Princess of Hell bad?
Very little is Princess of Hell bad.
That's true. That's true. That's rarefied airs up there.
So he does have what you need, though, in his mystery box.
Perfect. I need to petition the spirits for the instructions for a certain spell that seems to have slipped my memory. And give me the knowledge, but it never stays for long.
Well, you know who might be able to help you?
Who?
Her. You know, Zill's her.
I don't want to get into her sodding business anyways. This'll be more straightforward, I would say, if a little more time.
That's fair. Are you gonna do it here?
Might as well get it out of the way before we go through all of this.
Don't hit the blinds, huh? You want me to gather some folks? Bring them up here?
Jimmy, Draken, Nistu, and Watts.
Okay.
Not the new ones yet.
Alright. I'll get him. With that, he'll trot off. He'll grab
Meantime,
Watts.
Jimmy's been in the kitchen with Ratt.
Yeah.
I just want to get him started on something before we go upstairs.
Yeah, you're fine.
We walk over to the stove, and Jimmy says, "Now, Bob's in here." He lifts the little latch and opens up the grate. It says, "Hey, Bob, how's business?
Hey, boss.
You looking at doing some moonlighting?"
I got my own light, but
Got a man here who's interested in forging.
so for the sake of your character, Ratt.
Yep.
As he opens the grate, there's a very tiny little fire elemental that kind of pops its head out. That's who's talking.
Oh, this is gonna be my new best friend. Little talking fire.
What you need? What What do you need me to do?
How long has it been since you melt metal?
Well, I mean, I live in metal.
You live in metal, but you keeping your metal contained. I won't let you go. We need to make some fortifications. Jim isn't threatened.
What? He kind of pulls back into the stove a little and peeks back out. Threatened.
Not right now, but enough that we might be upgrading a little bit around here. We got you some more equipment. How would you feel about running a little forge?
I mean, you keep feeding me and I'll do what you need as best I can.
Can't ask for more. So, Jimmy looks back at Ratt. You have a conversation with him. You figure out what you need. We'll look into it.
Oh, this guy, I'm gonna build him a little castle and a gun.
What can it cost to set up a forge? A couple hundred gold? Nah.
Well, you're loaded.
Business is going well as long as I don't show up. If I show up, things go terribly. I send instructions for booze and make sure nobody hassles the business.
And dispose of bodies occasionally.
Occasionally dispose of bodies. That's just part of work here in Sigil.
Nothing quite like a fermented goblin brew.
Mm-hmm. It's popular with the oddest sorts. But
So
I've been called upstairs, I think.
yeah. So, real quick, the two of you, Ratt and Ristur, are in the process of trying to fortify downstairs.
I guess just kind of looking around. I'm meeting the fire elemental, and then I'm gonna go back out to the main room. Like, continue. Because we had the conversation about setting up the forge. And yeah, I suppose looking at fortification options to, like, barricade that door.
Okay.
It seems to be.
On this floor is the only way in that you can see. There is a door in the back that is locked back here.
Okay. That opens into, like, a back alleyway?
You're not sure.
Okay.
It's locked.
Okay.
But beyond, it seems like that's the only door. The front door is the only way in on this floor. So if you guys are gonna basically start work on that, I will say that you're working, and we'll let them get their seance in real quick.
Sounds good. That's why I'm here to lift the heavy stuff.
Indeed. 10:30 has hit. Should we take our quick break before we hit the seance?
It's up to you guys. We can.
No, I'd like to. I could use a little drink.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So in that case, we'll take a real quick bio drink, whatever break, and we will be right back after this imaginary word from our imaginary sponsors. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. We have returned. Alright, so don't everybody get excited at once.
Alright, so on the second floor of the office, Bryn is corralling everyone into a circle on the floor. Like, just to sit in a circle facing each other.
Okay.
Alright, now I need everyone to put your hands out in front of you, each close to the other beside you. And once you've done that, then put your pinkies out to the side, touching the other person's.
So
Touch you? Ew.
So he
Pohan,
begins to deploy his pinkies.
Pohan stretches out his front paws in front of him.
Pohan doesn't have to join in. Like, we've got the 5 humanoids we need.
Oh, sorry. He steps back up.
Oh, that was out of character. But yeah. So before Bryn does this herself, she takes a stack of parchment and she just sort of takes it, taps it on the ground to sort of straighten the stack, sets it in front of her, and then pulls out a planchette. But not a planchette that a lot of people would be familiar with. It has no hole in it, but at the tip of the planchette and underneath the top of it is a pencil. And at the back of the planchette are 2 tiny little wheels. And she sets this on top of the stack of paper before putting her hands out in front of her herself and sticking her pinkies out to the people on either side of her.
Okay. Alright. So everyone is doing as asked, I assume?
Pinkies deployed as requested.
I guess.
Pinky's out.
Alright. Pohan will watch attentively.
Alright, so Bryn is then going to start the seance to get a bit of information from the spirits. She is trying to get the instructions for the spell Legend Lore.
Okay.
So once she says her incantation and opens up contact, she will announce that the circle is open and then place her hand on the writing planchette as she enters into a trance-like state.
Okay. Alright. So, you trance out. Your breathing becomes ragged, short, sharp breaths. Just kind of a... as the spirits begin to take over and move through you and down your arm. You can feel them pulsing throughout you. Within the room, the lights begin to kind of flicker, go off, come back on. A strange chill begins to rise from out of the floor. And all of you get the sensation of movement in your peripheral vision, like shadows that just seem to shift until you turn your head to look at it, and then there's nothing there. The scent of the incense burning, which you've already lit that, right? Before
No, because the incense is not required for seance. That is required for the
legend lore.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind that then. So yeah, no, go ahead. You take it from there. This is your show. I don't want to dampen it.
Well, now she is just in contact with the spirits. So, like, she herself is just, she's beginning to petition the spirits to see if any has information on the spell, legend, lore. So just describe what she sees, or describe what she hears and sees as the spirits begin to make contact with her.
Okay.
She's in a trance state, so...
So, real quick, mechanically, are there any rolls you need to make for this?
No.
Okay. Alright, so... The spirits... You, more than anyone else, feel them drifting through and around. They begin to spin up and become more concentrated in the room. You hear whispers upon whispers, songs upon songs, lamentations upon lamentations as the spirits rise up to meet your call. Your ears fill with history and legend and myth and personal stories, but you, being the practiced spiritualist that you are, begin to use your sharp mind to sift through them, seeking the thing that you want. And then there it is, like a glimmering light in the darkness. You see it, a specter, an entity of a great former caster, a scholar, coming to you with his hand out, slightly glowing to only you, reaching out to grant you this gift, this boon of knowledge.
All right, so as this happens, you see her... Everyone that is in the room is seeing Bryn. She's in this trance state, but her hand is on the planchette and moving rather rapidly. Like, this pencil is moving across the parchment as if just, like, you know, she's writing down information. Yeah, it's getting a little intense.
So,
I don't know about this.
yeah, her wrist is moving in unnatural angles and ways as she goes. Some of you may think that she's scribbling like mad across the paper, digging deep as it goes. Once again, if her eyes had color, they'd be rolled back in her head. Her breathing increases rapidly, and she slams the planchette forcefully, and suddenly it takes hold, and the writing becomes more clear to anyone who could read it, mainly just to Bryn. You have been given the spell you seek.
Ho ho.
All right. So, as discussed over break, well, I guess maybe it become clear as she starts looking at the notes, but yeah, so after that hour is up, she makes a motion, closes the circle, and she begins to set the materials into place that Pohan has so kindly provided for her, and begins to look at her notes.
Okay. So it is a ritual spell, as you know.
Yes.
The details are there, clear to you. Despite the chaos of how it was received, you are very clear on what is to be done.
All right. Excellent, excellent. Jimmy, can you hand me that amulet that Glazia gave you?
Yeah. Jimmy breaks the pinky chain for a moment to reach in. He's got it in his pocket instead of around his neck, because that seems like a bad idea right now.
All right.
Well, the circle's closed, so like, yeah, the pinky chain would have long been broken.
Yeah,
Alright.
you're good.
So,
All right. So you're handed this disc of what appears to be jewel-encrusted mithril on a gold chain. You begin to you cast the spell.
Yeah, so she lights the incense and brushes her fingers along the amulet and focuses on it as the 4 ivory strips float in the air above her, and information begins to appear on the ivory strip as she continues to focus intently on this amulet that Glazia has given Jimmy.
So the words begin to spell out upon the ivory. The script reads as follows, if you don't mind me saying it out loud.
I'll go for it.
Okay. It says, blood for blood shall be the cost and shall be the value of he who holds this amulet. Death shall be a fleeting memory until nothing is left. That's all it says.
Bryn takes the ivory strips and she looks at them with a sense of unease, and she hands them over to Jimmy and says, "This is what I was able to get to the amulet."
is it legible to Jimmy, or is it a special magic speak?
It doesn't say that it's arcane text, so...
Okay.
It should just be common.
All right. Jimmy flips through the ivory strips. Not really sure if that's good or bad. Death being nothing but a memory? Good. Nothing left? Not so good. Maybe I'll keep that in the pocket for now. We'll see if we learn anything more about this. We might have to do some more digging.
Okay. Do you hand it back to her, or you pocket it?
She's still got the amulet.
Yeah.
I've got the ivory strips. She can have the ivory strips back.
No, that's what I meant, the ivory strips.
Yeah.
You hand them back to her?
Yeah.
You take them, Bryn?
Oh yeah, she'll take them, stuff them in her bag, and then she hands the amulet back to Jimmy.
As you touch the strips, as you are both touching the strips, Bryn, you feel an arcane connection just rip through Jimmy, across the ivory, and into you. And suddenly, you are just knocked back, like your head just rocks back. The two of you are like locked, like an electrical current is going between you. Your entire body just locks.
Inside, mental voice. Wizard shit.
Bryn, you open your spiritual eyes because your physical eyes are not working. Around you is a whirling vortex of death. Just the screaming, keening wailing of a million dead fills your ears. All of them calling out, begging for salvation, begging for help, begging for relief of any kind. You get this sensation of just trapped torment beyond anything your scope of mind has ever even thought possible. as it whips around you. Through the spaces in between, in the distance, you see a round floating orb, green and white and blue in the distance, across a field of velvety black littered with stars, spinning slowly. But your ears are still filled with the screams of a million dead. Jimmy.
Yes.
You are there too.
Oh no. If this is looking down the way I think, might be familiar with this view.
Give me a disadvantaged perception check. Because
all right.
Your ears are filled with the same sound.
Of course. It's not bad.
No. You definitely, you recognize some geographic patterns. This is home.
This is home. I have an advantage due to a specific wand. I've actually seen Cairn from this perspective before. Not too many people living who's done that.
This is true. But yes, this is home. You see it.
Dusty tears down his face. Those tear ducts haven't worked in a while.
Bryn, what are you doing in the midst of this chaos?
Is she aware that Jimmy is there too?
You get the sense of his presence. Like I said, you're looking with your spiritual eyes. Your physical eyes aren't working. But you get the sense that his presence is there.
Well... Alright, so Bryn's probably heard, like, the wails of death quite a number of times. I mean, she, is a spirit medium. She is in regular contact with spirits, so she is going to try and focus at this point and make out some of what the wailing is, so she can begin to ask pointed questions.
Okay. Give me a concentration check.
So just con check?
Yeah. I keep forgetting it's not actually a skill you get anymore.
Nope. Long gone.
Hey, okay.
That's really good.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
So, Bryn, you knuckle down, kind of crack your neck, and just furrow your brow and focus. You focus in hard. You begin to get filters, at first, of languages that you don't recognize. Like languages and dialects that you've never heard before speaking. And you begin to kind of filter through. And as you do, the visualizations of the spectral energy begin to flow through your mind. And you begin to sift through and start making sense of it. So you see this scene of just the sky tearing open in your mind. And inky black, like Vanta black, just ripping down out through that tear and just detonating on the ground across thousands of miles. You hear the screams once again start kind of raging through your mind. Then it flashes again and you see fighting, warring, just once again thousands dying for causes that you don't understand, that you can't make sense of. You don't know why they're fighting. You get the sense of just utter chaos. And through it all, this inky, tendrily blackness just shifts and pulses through all of it. It shifts once again, and you see something that absolutely just blanches you. you see elves coming out of a withering forest and beginning the wholesale slaughter of halflings. Just without going into gory detail to save you the player. It's Holocaust level horrific. You are struggling at this point. You're maintaining your focus and your concentration, but the emotional overload is starting to take its toll. You are literally watching millions of people die, and you are getting a slight fragment and a sliver of each one of those deaths entering into your mind.
So I think with that check, I feel like she has the mental fortitude to right now to put 2 and 2 together and realize that this is what the angler was talking about. So she is going to try and turn her focus to someone who she is very familiar with, and she's going to seek out Draken's energy.
Okay.
Whether from his body or an energy signature left behind.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Give me, and this is a little unconventional. We're getting into weird territory, though. Give me a spell DC check, basically like you were doing a spell attack.
All right, so a d20 plus proficiency plus charisma.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, her charisma's 5, proficient. Okay, so 1d20 plus 10.
$19, very good. All right. So, you, despite what's flowing through you, and I will say, like, in your mind, you being you are starting to recognize that this is chipping away at you in an unhealthy way, slowly. As the digger you deep, the more you stay here, it's just more than a mortal psyche can handle for too long. But you keep digging. You're a strong mind. You keep digging. You reach out and you start looking for, like you said, the energy signature of Draken. Draken, you feel a pull. You watch them both as you know, he hands the ivory. They both lock up like they've been electrocuted. Their eyes roll back in their heads and they're just locked in, their muscles tensed, just shaking. Seconds have only passed in front of you, but Draken, you feel a pull, like, towards the ghost. It's almost like some arcane aspect of her has turned and looked deep into you. Do you resist it?
No. I'm gonna go with it.
Do you go with it entirely?
I'm not fighting it, yeah. I'll go with it.
Alright. So you lock eyes with the ghost. Everyone in the room can sense this energy that's flowing around everyone right now. As their eyes lock, actual tendrils of black manifestation shoot out of the ghost's aura and encapsulate Draken. Draken, you are also just like you're being electrocuted. Every muscle in your body tenses up. Your eyes roll back in your head. Your jaw clenches. And you are there with them.
So, out of character, like, Bryn is looking for Draken or Draken's energy in this entire scene to So she heard the story from Jimmy and Draken. She knows that they were on an airship, and that Draken released a blast to take down a shadow dragon. That's what she's looking for in all of this chaos.
Oh yeah, we're getting to that.
Okay.
You now have a conduit to the source of that memory in Draken. So you've locked him in and are drawing not only from the spirits, but from his memory as well. So the power behind that begins to grow. And you are brought through this twisting black storm. The three of you. And you can almost look over and see one another like you're flying Peter Pan style through the sky. This twisting black storm, just lightning, thunder, rolling clouds. Down below you is this murky black just pitch of death. Screams fill the air, and ahead, every now and then, through the flashes of the lightning, you see what appears to be an airship in the distance that you are moving towards. Does anyone resist?
Don't resist, but I might recognize the airship.
Oh, you recognize it without a shadow of a doubt.
It was a very emotionally charged time. The memory is probably stuck in there pretty good.
Yeah, no, you definitely remember it.
I think Bryn's spirit form is going to hold out her hands to either side of her to grip Jimmy and Draken's.
We're flying just like
I
Peter
don't
Pan.
think I was there for the airship, so...
Istu was not. Do you want to try and interject?
The terrible idea.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you want to try and interject yourself into it? You can. They're not going anywhere. Physically, they're just locked in. Look like they're having a seizure.
This is Jimmy, Draken, and the ghost?
Yeah.
Let them do their brain stuff. It's fine.
They're doing brain things. It's okay.
Istu's like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, should I be reacting differently to this?
That's up to you. It's your character.
I mean, she needs the tendrils and such, but
there's a very powerful arcane thing happening here.
All right.
But if you want to stay back, you can. It's up to you.
I'm doing whatever the dink dink pinky thing is, and we'll leave me on the sidelines here.
Well, they're not doing the dink dink pinky thing right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we're doing the spiritualist nonsense.
So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna cross my fingers, and hope that you guys know how to get yourselves out of that.
All right.
Cause yeah.
All right. So you guys continue on, flying through the air, and you begin to hear a singing voice enter into your minds. Some of you will recognize it, some of you will not. But it's as if everything goes silent. And there you are, hovering over the airship. A war is just waging all around you. You see Jimmy and Draken and Freya and Maury on the deck of this ship, fighting for their lives. You see Stapleton, you see Phoebe, you see the whole crew. You see them fighting against unimaginable odds, struggling. And all the while you see this black shadow, winged creature circling. blasting out gouts of death and destruction. And in the midst of that struggle, you see Draken grab hold of the rigging and come to bear with a wand, and his mouth open up and shout something that is lost in the storm. And a searing ray of energy comes flying out and just obliterates the wings off the dragon, sending it spiraling into the inky death below.
Yeah, so Bryn, I think at this point, is going to be keeping her eyes on that shadow drake because she is not seeing anything. I mean, clearly that Draken is doing that would cause the death of millions. So in her mind, whatever the angler said has something to do with that shadow drake, so she's watching it now.
Okay. So its form goes diving down into the void below. He gets lost in the reaching tendrils of negative energy down below. What are Draken and Jimmy doing at this point? Watching this happen again.
Draken, you go first.
I'm letting the ghost lead, but there's a little fist pump and a smile.
Yeah. Proof that the universe loves me right there.
Okay.
Jimmy is not doing that. Since he saw the view from above when things were still green and blue and pleasant, he's looking, but he's not seeing. What he's seeing in his mind's eye is just visions of home. The world as it was. All this darkness here is almost a distraction.
Okay. So nostalgia is taking over.
Yes, he is looking inward.
All right. So you guys have been drifting towards the airship this whole time. And your movement is not your own too much at this point. You move into the airship, and it's almost like within your mind's time accelerates. And you see an accelerated version of the events that happened there. You see the party defeat their evil alter egos. You see them fight their way into the belly. The flames are all around the ship. You see Phoebe pull out the Necronomicon and begin the ritual. You see the portals open and each person being given their chance. You see Maury turn hers down. You see Stapleton, the Queen, Phoebe, and Maury holding each other in a tight embrace as the rest of the party steps through, leaving them, and you see the airship cycle down into the black beyond, pulling you along with it.
I like to think that Jimmy breaks out of his reverie long enough to see Stapleton slip him the hat.
He does.
Okay. That was a good move. That was a slick move.
Actually, give me a perception check, Jimmy.
Let's see if he was that slick. Years later, different perspective. 22.
Not only did you see him slip you the hat, you saw him slip something into the hat band.
Okay. Sharp eyes paying off.
But yeah, you're beginning to get drugged down, following the fettered cloud into the royal of darkness. Is anyone doing anything?
Bryn is continuing to watch at least for a little more, because at this point she doesn't quite have the answers that she wants to, because in addition to, well, she now knows that clearly Draken didn't do jack shit. She wants to know what is it that caused the death of these millions that Draken might have had any sort of involvement with?
Okay.
Anything as a result of Draken's actions, which is what she's searching for and why she was so intent on focusing on that Shadow Drake.
Okay. And real quick, Ghinkgo, Ratt, what are you rolling for with the Arcana? Sorry, I don't want to ignore your rolls there. Are you rolling to see if you...
Well, I mean, the lights are flickering, shit's getting weird, and I can kind of tell there's a little bit of magic going on above me.
There's
A little.
there's a great deal of magic going on, yes.
Yes. I'm wondering if, as a handshaken bodyguard for Jimmy, I'm maybe needing to be concerned.
You're not hearing any, like, crashing, booming type thing?
But they've been gone for a long time.
Yeah,
It's
over an
been a hot
hour.
minute.
Over an hour. There is something going on. Did anyone tell him not to go upstairs?
I don't think that was mentioned.
I
I think he said him about his business and Jimmy walked up.
Yeah.
I think Bryn would have told Pohan that they were to stay downstairs.
Pohan's up with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, like, whenever he was going to fetch Jimmy and all of them.
Okay. Yeah, we'll let that go. That's fine. So yeah, Pohan would have said not to worry about it, but of course your reactions are your own. So I don't want to leave you out if there's something you feel like you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely some magic pulsing through the place, but you don't get the sense that anyone's in any danger.
Okay. As long as it doesn't seem like anybody's in danger. Doesn't
No, you
seem
don't-
like dangerous magic. That's cool.
No,
I
no
know
struggles
that much.
going on or anything.
I mean, I know magic can be dangerous. But, you know,
Oh yeah, more than most.
work with it a little bit.
All right. So that's all good. All good. So you keep working on your forge with Bob the Fire Builder, who's being remarkably helpful. He seems to take a shine to you.
Yeah, we're doing some
You're doing the-
reshaping of some steel rods.
You're doing the Lord's work. So you three are not resisting where this vision is taking you, I assume, or are you?
Jimmy's not driving this particular ship, and with his propensity for the arcane, I'm not sure he even could.
Right, because it's diving you into the null, the void.
Bryn is not resisting. She wants to find out once and for all.
All right. So
Same.
Draken and Jimmy, in particular,
Mhm.
you are, while we're in this, under the effects of basically a fear condition.
Gotcha.
It probably won't come into play, but just keep that in mind. You saw this happening. So this is like really an anxiety-driven moment for you guys. Bren, give me a wisdom save.
Okay.
So you're under the effects of the fear condition as well.
All right.
You're diving into the black unknown. You've been buffeted by the winds of death and destruction. You're basically watching a world end and hearing the cries of all the people that are dying at the same time. It's normal for you to be a little shook. So you dive into the eerie blackness. It engulfs you. Just poof. Everything goes dark. You get the sensation of time moving, and at the same time, like a listless drifting, as if you were in the ethereal. you hear gibbering horrors in the distance. You hear laughter and cries. You hear children weeping. You hear groaning and moaning and the tearing of teeth against flesh. And through it all, you hear this deep, guttural, low, very drawn out laugh slowly building. Just a and as it gets bigger and deeper and louder, you see these two sickeningly violet colored eyes slowly open ahead of you. And they stare into you. All three of you give me an intelligence save.
Ooh, fancy. Ouch.
All right.
May want to use a reroll on that one.
Stapleton, do me a favor here. Stapleton, you got me?
He's always got you.
He got me.
You know that.
I draw upon the powers of the hat. I hold it down to my head, in fact. That's what I'm doing right now. The storm is buffeting me. I hold the hat to my head, and I feel a little smarter.
That works. That certainly works. All right, so... Jimmy, you felt your mind beginning to slip. As these eyes peered into you, you saw every death that has occurred from the moment you left till now at the hands of every creature that spawned from the void.
That's a lot, actually.
It flooded you like a laser beam through your brain. All three of you, basically. But Jimmy, you grabbed that hat and yanked it down over your eyes just as it was starting to overcome you, and bit down and held tight. Bryn and Draken, please give me a D100 roll.
I was about to say, if you roll a 1, if every roll involving this monster is a 1 or a 100, that's going to be very funny, actually.
Okay. So, I'm going to tell you what these are in just a moment.
I assume these are going to be like rolls on the madness table.
These are going to be rolls on the madness table, yes.
Temporary, I hope.
So, as the eyes push this into you, they push you out of your vision. The three of you kind of go flying backwards, and there's a burst of concussive energy through the room that just shakes the paintings on the walls. Books come off the shelves. Even you guys downstairs, like, it just shudders the whole building.
In real life, they hit the bookshelf?
Well, I mean, they kind of flew backwards where they were sitting.
Yeah. The room shook.
The room shook. There's like a shockwave of arcane energy.
If they're going to hit the bookshelf, can I do a thing?
Sure, what do you want to do?
So that they don't knock their heads against it?
Okay.
It's very conscientious of you.
Cushion the impacts slightly?
You know what? I'll allow it. Just for flavor, if nothing else.
Hey.
You cushion their falls. Your heads are spinning. All three of you have terrible, terrible headaches right now. In fact, all three of you have nosebleeds and probably a little trickle of blood coming from the corners of your eyes and ears.
So we're mentally back in the office right now?
You are back in the office. However, Brim, you don't recognize anyone in the room.
Ooh.
You know who you are. You don't know who any of these people are. And Draken,
Yes.
when you come out of it, you are just extremely paranoid of everyone around you. I will let you RP how that works. Mechanically, you have disadvantage on wisdom and charisma checks.
Both of us?
Just him.
Oh.
You just can't remember any of these people. You have no idea who any of these people are.
Alright, so Bryn is... Okay, so she doesn't remember the people that she looks at, but would she remember, like, the names of the folks that she just saw? So it, like, this would only affect everyone in the room as she opened her eyes and looks at them and tries to remember? It wouldn't affect her memories of people?
No, you don't remember anyone in the room at all. You remember kind of what just happened. You don't remember who you were with in the vision.
Okay. I'm going to say that she remembers, like, the information that she was looking for, and it was on a certain person. So she is going to be laying there, like, back against the wall, slumped over, one hand on the floor and the other, like, on her forehead, eyes closed, and she's just sinking in her mind. Or she's mumbling, "It wasn't Draken. It wasn't Draken. He didn't do any of this."
Jimmy fights his way vertical, or close enough. Stumbles that way. Draken, you alright?
I am
He's obviously trying to hurt you.
trying. I back up out of the room and leave.
I'll take that as a no. Alright. Ghost, you alright?
So she, like, starts to slowly open her eyes, and as she comes to, she is going to reach for her dagger at her side, whip it out, and aim the point at Jimmy's throat, kind of like how she did whenever she threatened him at first. And she is going to say, "Who are you, Burks?"
I'll take that as a no also.
"What do you want with me?"
One sec. Jimmy turns away from the point of the dagger and walks back to the desk. He's fishing around. That'll do. He pulls out a bottle at random. This headache is awful. Not even sure which one it was. We might have fun rolling a d4 and see what I just did to myself. But give me just a moment to roleplay first.
Of course, of course.
Watch, do you know any mental healing spells? You got any?
Mental?
Yeah, that's not normal.
Mental?
Right. The people I would ask about this usually are the people who are afflicted, so that's gonna be an issue. Ghost, bit of a spell mishap. Just went on. You were doing a little seance for us.
Why would I do a seance for you, Burks? I never bang around anyone for more than 5 minutes. What do you want with me?
Your memories back would be a pretty nice start on my part.
There's nothing sodding wrong with my memory, you addle-coved Burk.
Let's see. What does Jimmy know about Bryn that is not knowledge?
I don't know.
And is also not observable in the moment, so it has to have been something that she's told him. Have we talked about where you're from?
She has mentioned it in very vague terms. Jimmy does know that she is 38 years old, which, yeah, that's not information that anyone would, have on her, and she knows it.
Yes. So Jimmy, from his desk, says, "You're 38, you're a changeling, you're plainer, but you've been here a really long time now, and you should recognize my face, but you don't." And I'll make a persuasion roll.
Okay.
What do I need to roll against that?
It could be a wisdom save.
Okay.
If you even have a chance. All right. He's pulled out some details that he shouldn't know, which makes you wonder. Jimmy.
Yeah?
That was Phoebe's special.
Oh, fun. What was the effect of Phoebe's special?
Is intelligence save, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
The Phoebe special was always my favorite. I built up a tolerance.
Yeah, and it's basically like you feel death.
It's a welcome change from this headache.
Yeah. It does calm the headache a little.
Yeah. Okay, that's helping. That's helping. All right. Ugh.
Pohan looks really confused. So does Irene.
Jimmy sets the bottle aside.
All right, Burke, you're going to... How in the God's damned multiverse do you have that information? Who are you?
I have it 'cause you gave it to me. I am Jimmy the Mouth. And we've been having a pretty good time the last few weeks. We've known each other for a while now. But I've got a feeling that whatever was at the bottom of that trip is not good. And you two didn't bring your tinfoil hats with you, so you got blasted.
Out of character, last time I looked at Watts' spell list, she had Lesser Restoration prepared, and being a cleric, she can change that, every day, essentially, by praying, so clerics can learn Greater Restoration. Don't know what that'll do, but, throwing that out there.
Okay. Well, will Greater Restoration affect that, though?
Only you know.
I shall check right now. Undo a debilitating effect. Charmed, petrified, curse, reduction to ability scores, or effect reducing hit point maximum, or exhaustion. They really nerfed restoration with 5th edition.
Used to be regrow X limbs.
It used to be like a cure-all, really. It was great. But I I will tell you this out of character so you don't panic. You and Draken both, this effect of what you're going through will wear off in 30 hours.
30 hours is a long ass time.
So many people could show up to kill me by then.
30 hours. I actually rolled low, so...
I have a feeling this man rolled a D100.
This is gonna be bad.
It's 1d10 times 10 number of hours. I rolled
That's
a 3
worse.
for both of you.
I mean, I get the vibe that it's short term. Like, I knew you wouldn't do this to us permanently, but just for roleplay purposes, if Bryn can snap out of this sooner, like, I'd like it, just out of character.
Well, we can accelerate time. Nothing's bearing down on you presently. We can accelerate time. Like, Bryn can go home and be like, screw you weirdos, I'm out of here. And go home. She knows who she is.
Yeah, she knows who she is, so Bryn, being Bryn, she does not like to be in the room with a bunch of, like, strange Berks. Like, she feels very vulnerable right now, so she is going to probably go invisible and go home.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. None of the people I'm in charge of would try to stop you, and people downstairs wouldn't see you. So Bryn blips out and goes home. Draken, you're just paranoid. Isolation's probably the best thing for you, I would imagine.
Yes, but it's where he's going to go isolate.
Where are you going?
That's a good question.
Plane of Fire.
Oh.
You know the way back.
He is. Yes, he is getting out of Sigil. He is going somewhere where he knows he could be. Place he went when he was alone.
Okay, and that's fine. That's fine. And like I said, we Jimmy's got a lot to sort through. Draken's got a lot to sort through. Ghost has a lot to sort through.
Yep.
Ratt and his little buddy Ristur there, they're working on fortifying and getting a forge up and running. So they'll be busy with that for a while. So we can accelerate time for the 30 hours. I'll let you guys decide, like Draken, what you do while you're in the City of Brass. Ghost, what you do, while you're away. And we'll just say those 30 hours pass and the paranoia fades and your memories come back, which will probably be like, oh shit, I need to go back and we need to talk about this.
You're like, oh, that was rather rude. Before the 30 hours pass, though, Jimmy at his desk will say, there always was a little bump. And he takes the hat off his head. Starts feeling under the hat band.
You do find something there.
Faster hands than he really should have been with his job. I pull out whatever's there.
What you find is a very, very thin ring made of pure white gold. You recall seeing it on his finger.
I wonder why he wanted to send that with. Jimmy being Jimmy, he'll pop it on a finger.
Okay. It fits. It's almost like it was made for you.
Huh. One more memory, I guess.
Indeed.
While he's flipping his hand back and forth to examine it, says, wish Draken had aimed a little bit lower. Those were my people.
It's true.
But
And with that, I think we'll call it. It's 11:53, but
yes.
we will let the downtime accelerate time. I'll let you guys, like I said, decide what you did with the 30 hours. When we come back in week after next, we will dive into Hell to Pay. You guys got the initial taste, the teaser for it tonight. We got the new guys introduced. We got the seance done. As I titled the go live notification, new recruits and spooky toots. I think we delivered.
I would say so.
Yeah.
But I hope everybody had a good time. We'll be back next week, of course, with Karen. Well, also with some new recruits. And spooky toots, because Karen's always spooky toots.
Yeah, y'all got to see, like, you know, from a third person perspective, the beginnings of all those spooky toots and Karen.
Yep. Oh, yeah. But I hope you guys had a good time. I always have a good time with you. So I look forward to next week. Thank you guys very much.
So.
Thank you anybody who tuned in to watch or will tune in to watch. And we will see you very soon.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.